we've now completely replaced our rating and rules engines. And we've searched the world to find what we consider to be the best rating and rules engine. We've implemented that in our business, and Personalize has now been fully deployed in that model. And we're seeing significant benefits that have come. I think the first thing is to talk about rating specifically. In the past, we used to rate based on the data that we had in our books. Now we're able to rate based on any data. So we've physically gone and taken every one of our risk addresses on our books, and we've geotagged it. So we physically got a GPS coordinate for that. That's allowed us to do a couple of things. The first thing, we can now map that to a topography line. And against that, we can now manage impact of flood and sea surge, because weather is becoming a fundamental driver of changing risk. We're also able to map that risk address to a fire department and rate that fire department in terms of response time in the event of a fire. We also now import into our rating engines all road traffic data, all road accident data, all police crime stats. We integrate into eNatus for all motor and vehicle data. We integrate into TransUnion for all information available that you can get automatically off an ID number. So the ability for us to aggregate and use data has never been as wide and as broad and as exciting as it's been going forward. And it becomes infectious. Not only do the underwriters get excited, but even in distribution, we start seeing the real value. The business has become fundamentally about data. Another key thing that is, for me, just something that's very different out there is how we are able to use Google Maps and drones to survey risks from the air. So again, because you've got a GPS tag location, we used to in the past send surveyors out or property assessors to determine how much you must insure your property for. Now we can actually tell you that based on this survey, and a nice little report with a picture of your property, with multiple pictures of that property being taken using drone and airplane technology, this is the square meter of your property, this is the construction type, this is the amount of square meters you got in paving, this is the size of your swimming pool, this is your perimeter fence. You should be insured for 8.4 million rand. And then because we're able to certify that now through this technology, we're able to offer the client complete peace of mind that will guarantee the claim. So on the basis that you insure your property for that amount or more, any event that you have that causes damage, we guarantee the claim because there's no more risk of average being applied. If you use all this data and you aggregate and you say, okay, this customer lives in this area, his house is worth X, he's got the following number of cars, this is the specified items he's got in terms of jewelry and that sort of thing. Based on all the customers who look like you, we determine an average that your sum insured and your content should be 843,000 Rand. Again, the power of averages, the power of data, looking at what's common. So again, because we're comfortable that there's enough scale in the block of business that we've got, if you insure your customer for that average home contents insured value, again, we won't pay average. We won't apply average. So we move into this space where we can almost guarantee a claim. The big issue for us is often, you insure for 800,000, you have a 200,000 Rand claim, and the insurance company pays you out 100,000 Rand. You think, but I'm insured for 800,000. But the assessors now told you, no, you should have been insured for 1.6 million, therefore you are 50% underinsured, therefore we will pay 50% of your claim today. So if we can get to the space, we no longer talk average with our clients, your value proposition fundamentally starts changing. The real challenge in commercial going forward is this ability to sell advice as a product, where customers come to you because they don't necessarily want insurance. They come to the insurance broker because they want to manage risk. So if we can move into the space where we become able to sell the product advice, be recognized as professionals, like accountants and like lawyers out there, people who really add value around the risk space, we can really tap into new revenue streams and new markets. It's a big opportunity for brokers out there. So what we want to try to do is really tap into the power of our survey data. There's all sorts of data that we sit with. So if we can enable that via a user-friendly app that's driven per industry type or per segment or per security type, and say that if this is the questions you ask and enable an advice-led conversation to a customer by the broker following a set of tools with all the pre-property occupational health and safety, all the benefit of the knowledge we know that protects and prevents loss, being automated, aggregated, and led through a pricing model, and that's available to a broker. Suddenly I come into a risk. I start having a conversation with a customer that fundamentally now starts flagging, identifying, leading, and an understanding of the risk in that particular business. that gives them at the end a very sophisticated report with all the kind of legalese built in. Now suddenly the broker's value add is not just about the insurance product he sells, but the advice he gives. Where the insurance product now becomes a consequence of the advice, not the ultimate purpose that started off with. So we are far down our roads around really trying to apply that survey power and data and enabling that through a very front-end, user-friendly app for brokers. Currently, all our assessors already that are out in the field all use iPads and use the same kind of technology. We just need to tailor that more into the sales process. So an exciting development that we're hoping to launch early in 2017 for the brokers who choose to do business with Santam.